Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to really get into the weeds on specific sources shaping online conversations. Today, our mission, if you will, is a deep dive into just one piece of content. It's an audio file, and the title is pretty direct. Something hidden in Hillary's leg may cost her the election.mp3. So our objective today is really sharp. We're going to unpack the claims, the observations, the evidence presented inside this one source. It's all about understanding the story it tells, what it asserts and how it does it. We're not here to say if it's true or false, just to look at the source itself.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this interesting, right? Seeing how one specific piece of content creates and pushes out a certain narrative, we get to look at its internal logic.
Yeah, the building blocks it uses. Okay, so let's jump in. How does this audio file start things off? Well, it begins by pointing to, and these are its words, a photograph floating around social media causing quite a stir. And right away, it pairs this image with a really sensational headline, again, from the source. Something hidden in Hillary's leg may cost her the election.
That's a pretty classic opener, isn't it? You have a visual, something maybe ambiguous, and you immediately frame it with a really provocative statement. It grabs your attention and sort of sets the tone for everything that follows. It's the hook.
It really is. Okay, so then the audio tells us where this report supposedly originates. It says it's courtesy of Paris Swede for Liberty Writers News. And according to this audio, this finding means that, quote, Hillary's health concerns have just been taken to the next level. All right, so let's unpack that, because this leads us straight into the core assertion that Liberty Writers News is making in this audio file we're examining. The main claim, the big one, is stated very clearly. We know now why she wears pantsuits all the time, end quote. And the reason given in the source, she's apparently hiding a hidden catheter. Then it gets, well, even more direct. The source includes this quote attributed to Liberty Writers News, and these are their words, just to be crystal clear, it's pissing on her election chances.
Yeah, that kind of visceral language is definitely a feature you see in certain online spaces. It's designed for impact, immediate emotional reaction.
Definitely. And for anyone listening who might not know what a catheter is, the source actually defines it. It says it's a device that's used to empty one's bladder. Simple definition provided right there. Okay, so how does the audio try to support this pretty startling claim? Well, the first piece of evidence it brings up connects to a past event. It claims this is why she had used the restroom with another woman during the Democratic primary debate. So it's taking something that happened, something public, and offering this new explanation for it, trying to make it fit the narrative.
Right, and that's a fascinating technique. You see that a lot, taking a known event and sort of retrofitting it with a new, maybe sinister meaning that aligns with the current claim. It lends a sort of backwards confirmation.
Exactly. And then here's where it gets really specific. The source introduces what it calls a detailed nurse's account. This alleged account describes the device. It says, the way the tube wraps around Hillary's leg is exactly how a Foley catheter is positioned. It goes on, describing the tube leading to a, quote, sticky patch just above the knee that has a little plastic clamp. And then supposedly the tube goes into the drainage bag down on the calf. What's the effect of including such clinical-sounding details?
Well, it raises that important question, doesn't it? How does bringing in an alleged expert like this nurse, loaded with these very specific, almost forensic-sounding details, how does that work? It lends an air of credibility. It sounds like inside knowledge, even if there's no proof offered for it. It makes the whole claim feel more tangible, more real to the listener.
Right, gives it that feeling of authenticity. So, okay, they've laid out this detailed description from the nurse. And then the source pivots to what it calls visual confirmation. This is where they go back to the photo, presumably. It claims, and I'm quoting again, you can see the outline of the tube on her pant leg right there. You can just make it out. Down. It continues, you can see the dark line around her pant leg there. And this dark line, according to the audio, certainly indicates something is causing the shifting of her pants. When a source points to something kind of vague, like a dark line, as proof, what's really happening there?
It's a classic case of confirmation bias in action, maybe. Or at least leveraging it. You have ambiguous visual data, a shadow, a crease, who knows? But within the narrative the source is already built, that ambiguous line is presented as clear, undeniable evidence supporting the pre-existing claim. People tend to see what they expect or want to see.
Makes sense. So they connect to the past event, they've got the nurse's detailed account, they've got this visual proof, and then the audio takes another step further by linking it all to an existing rumor. It states, it was rumored that she had early onset Parkinson's disease as well. And then crucially, The source asserts that this new revelation about the supposed catheter, quote, confirms that she does have early onset Parkinson's.
Yeah, and if we step back and look at the bigger picture here, you see how these narratives often get built, right? They layer things. A new claim is presented, maybe based on flimsy evidence, but it's immediately connected to older rumors or suspicions. It creates this sort of snowball effect, a sense of mounting evidence, even if each piece is shaky on its own.
Right. It all culminates in the source delivering its final punch, its main argument for this section. It says, if this is in fact true, as this nurse has stated through the identification in this picture, that this is early onset Parkinson's, this could cost her the election. Certainly could. So after weaving all that together, what does this tell us about how this specific audio file is trying to work on its audience?
Well, it really raises that important question about construction, doesn't it? How are these specific pieces, the photo, the nurse story, the interpretation of the dark line, the link to Parkinson's rumors, how are they all woven together? The source isn't just like dumping information. It's carefully building a story, a chain of logic, however flawed, with a very clear, predicted political outcome. It's persuasion through narrative construction.
Okay, so let's recap what we've unpacked today. Our deep dive was focused solely on the claims inside this one audio file. Something hidden in Hillary's leg may cost her the election. We looked at its central claim about a hidden catheter, the very detailed nurse's count used to support it, the visual evidence cited that dark line on the pants, and of course, how the source explicitly connected all this to pre-existing rumors about early onset Parkinson's, ultimately suggesting it could cost an election. And again, our goal here was simply to explore what this particular source stated and, importantly, how it built its case.
Right. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider is how different kinds of information get used in these online narratives. Think about how a visual, maybe an ambiguous photo, gets combined with an anecdotal account like the nurse's story and then layered onto existing rumors. How are these bits and pieces selected, interpreted, and woven together? It's not just about the information itself, but how it's framed and connected to build a specific, often impactful conclusion. It really shows how narratives take shape online.